So I've had a topic that has come to my attention. I've had a few of my very dear clients that, obviously I've been taking care of their babies for forever, for years. And they've all kind of had the same questions because, a lot of our clients come from word of mouth. We have people who have been to other groomers or had people take care of their animals in the past. They haven't been 100% happy, or, they move. There's a lot of reasons that, people change groomers, change vets, change, puppy sitters. But there's been one really, really common topic that has come up, and that's been, how do you know the people to trust? And how do you, arm yourself with proper caretakers for your animals? And I'm not one to badmouth or, really throw anybody under the bus, just because somebody didn't have the opportunity to educate themselves doesn't mean that they won't have that opportunity. And just because, you've had a bad experience with somebody in the past doesn't mean that they haven't gotten themselves educated and tried to, arm themselves with education to better take care of your animals. So I'm not saying per se that if you have one bad experience that makes that person a bad person. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. But what I am saying is there's many outlets nowadays for people who are passionate about taking care of animals to really educate themselves, to, reach out and become certified, to reach out and go to school, to have training, to make sure that they have CPR certifications, to make sure that those stay up to date. Myself and the two girls that I'm putting through school right now, we're very passionate about making sure that we can provide the best care possible and that we have the knowledge to back that care. For instance, you have animals with double-coated breeds, and it's very common, I've noticed, here in the southern states to shave. And a lot of times I fear the parents, when they come in, most of these pet parents that have done that in the past haven't been educated about their dog's coat standard and how to take care of it and how to maintenance it. And a lot of times it comes with literally the simplest of every 4 weeks come in and have an undercoat removal bath, and that'll help with overheating, that'll help with skin irritation, it helps take care of them. And it's most common than not that these parents just haven't had that education. And it is our job. It's our job as groomers. It's our job as pet parents to learn things. So if we're expecting pet parents to learn, I feel like they should expect us to be educated, to be trained, to be certified, to continuously have education. And that's why I'm like a huge advocate for getting certified as a groomer. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for a lot of the pet parents here in Neshoba County where I live. I want to make sure that I can, arm myself with a lot of education so that I can arm them with education, because that's how we take care of animals. But the biggest concern, and I mean, one of my clients, she made a great point, and I told her that I'd eventually have the courage to make a video about it, but she made a great point, and it was that when you're going into some of these grooming salons or some of these boarding facilities, that they don't know how to ask them if they have these things. And obviously anybody that knows me knows that when you come into the shop, there's all my training, all my certifications, CPR certifications, behavioral training, all that. I have it framed up on the wall. So that's the first thing that people see when they come in. But some people don't do that, Some people have all those certifications, they have all that training, but they don't post it, they don't have it up. So it's always good to ask. And I guess that was like my biggest thing. I told her, I said, it's as easy as asking. Ask. Say, you know, have you gone to school? Have you been through any CPR courses? Do you know what to do in case of an emergency? Do you have an emergency plan in place? You know, if there was a tornado, where would you go with my animal? And most of my clients, I have like this huge emergency contact form that I have them sign when they come in. And that protects, obviously, me. It protects them. It makes it so we're all on the same page. If an emergency did come upon and we had to hurry up and evacuate our area, we have a plan in place. But it is sad because I've seen, not really here local, but I have seen a few places that they didn't have a plan in place. And, you know, it's really gambling with lives, whether it's your lives or the animals' lives, and both, honestly. Because, I mean, if you have a natural disaster come through and there's no real plan in place, then you're facing these situations where you're putting your life in danger trying to evacuate animals, and you're putting animals' lives in danger because you're waiting till the last minute to do it. See, I'm one of those people, I try to be proactive. These are babies. I mean, I don't care if this dog that I have in my care is 15, or if it's 2, or if it's new, you know, fresh 12-week-old pup. I want to make sure that they are as safe as possible at all times. So, education for grooming, obviously must have. Education when it comes to first aid, CPR, obviously must have. Must have, to me, some sort of emergency plan in place. Should have emergency contacts in place. But all these things you can ask. It is a right that you have as a pet parent. And I think that was one of those things. She didn't feel comfortable because she felt like she was overstepping her boundaries. No, you are the mom of these animals. You are the dad of these animals, aunt, uncle, grandma. It is your place to ask, you know. We do have training for boarding. All of our staff, Allie herself, she's a dog trainer. I myself have over 15 years experience and 2 beautiful certificates hanging up on the wall saying that I went through behavioral training classes. That way I know signs of stress. I know if 2 dogs aren't going to get along. And I'm able to prevent things from happening just that way. And it's amazing because everybody that stays with us, they're happy. They get lots of exercise, and they're able to sometimes even play together if they show that they are, you know, comfortable in their surroundings. But I do think with summer coming up, people are traveling and people are wondering how to choose the right place. And whereas I would be more than happy to be like, ooh, choose us. We'd love to take care of animals. You know, there are other options, and there's places that are more convenient than ours. We live out in the country. We like it out here because we can live on premises and we can take care of some of the more special needs pups that we have that I'm known for, I guess. But this is one of those common things that I've seen a lot more lately than none, because a lot of people have unfortunately taken their animals to places where things have happened to their animals just because the groomer wasn't educated enough, or, you know, the pet sitter wasn't educated and they let the dog be in contact with another dog, and, you know, dogs get killed that way. And we don't want that to happen. And I guess that's what really pushed me to make this video, because this is completely out of my comfort zone. But I want people to equip themselves with the knowledge, and I want pet parents to feel comfortable going into a facility or a pet sitter knowing that their pets are going to be safe. That's number one to me. I've been doing this so long, and it's heartbreaking when I have to hear about somebody, you know, that, you know, I was out of town here recently. I think you guys knew that. But it broke my heart because I had to hear about one of my favorite clients ended up getting killed. And it was a simple thing, like they didn't know any better, and it was a family friend, and they let that family friend take care of their dog over the weekend. And a day into them staying, they got a call that their older German Shepherd had killed him. And it's a call that you don't want to hear as a pet parent. I have animals. I know. It's heartbreaking because those are your kids. So if there's anything I think that I can put out there, or any knowledge I can give to everybody, it's that you need to ask the questions. You need to make sure that the people that you trust with your animals have training, have knowledge. I myself, I'm at the top of my tier right now, so now I train others. I am an internationally master certified groomer, and I'm also pet safety certified. I also have behavioral training. I also have first aid and CPR training, and I do enough continuing education every single year in order to earn my credits in order to keep my certification in good standing. And that's more than a lot of folks do, but I do it because I want to. I want to be able to, one, say that I've done my best in obtaining knowledge for each and every single person's baby. And I'm going to be completely transparent. Not everybody that people see on a daily basis with their animals has any sort of training. Some people pick up a pair of clippers or put a kennel in their house and they call themselves a professional. Some people, they have the best and biggest hearts, but I really push for folks to do their homework and to reach out. There are people out here who will help you pursue education, and there are people out here who will help you find people who are educated, who are professionally trained, and we will give you the resources that you need. I myself am a huge advocate for IPG, which stands for International Professional Groomers. And they've been around for forever. Kind of since the beginning of time, I like to say. But we have a group of folks who are more than educated. We can break it down for you in scientific terms. We can help you figure out skin issues, skin conditions. We can refer you to veterinary professionals or even behavioral professionals who can better help you. So if there's ever questions, if there's ever, something that you're not comfortable with, ask. Please ask. Because I don't want these calls or texts when somebody's baby gets hurt. It breaks my heart, and it makes this part of this job, I guess this is the part of job that I don't like. I don't like having to hear that some of my babies have passed away or they've gotten really injured. And I know obviously sometimes we don't have choices. So sometimes we're put in a position where an emergency has arose. We have to make a quick decision and leave them with somebody. And I mean, I understand that. I get that. But there are options out there. So let professionals help you, and remember that there's this critical thing in the grooming industry where it is not a regulated industry. There's no inspections done. There's no license in order to work in this industry. And it saddens me because if it was more regulated, less animals would get hurt, less hearts would be broken. So the most I can do is recommend. I can recommend all day, but it is also our jobs as pet parents. And this is coming from somebody that it's happened to me. This was one of those big pushes that made me do what I do to this day. Is I had a sweet animal that she got hurt. I took her to the groomer. She got hurt. Somebody cut off her ear. And some of you that have known me forever, they know this story. And some of you that haven't known me forever, they don't know this story. But that's what really pushed me into getting professional training and becoming the groomer that I am today. And I am lucky enough to have found two amazing girls who they share those same passions as I do. And that's all they want, is for everybody to be happy and healthy. And they're so excited every single time they have an exam come up, or every single time they're getting ready for testing. they get so excited because it's like when they start talking to a pet parent, immediately they're like, oh my gosh, I know the answer to this. Like, I know how to help them. And it's amazing to really see people get enthusiastic about what they do. That's when it becomes more of a passion and less of a job. I will say, if there's ever any questions that you guys have, reach out to me. You don't have to call me. You can text me. Y'all know I'm an introvert. I don't mind texting. But always reach out. Always ask the questions. Don't be afraid. These are your kids. These are your kids. So we're the professionals, and there are some unprofessionals, but you're the professional mother or father of these animals. So ask the questions. It's a quick yes or no, and sometimes it's like a here, let me show you, and it's actually rewarding to find out how much education they have. But I really wanted to make this video because I think it's going to help some folks clarify, and it's also, I'm hoping, giving somebody the courage to, reach out and really find out who's taking care of their animals. Much love. See you guys at some point. Bye.